Well, he beat my world record again, and honestly, I don't have the time to go through it again. So, I think I'm done with this run. But, as a way to say goodbye to this run, I think I'm going to do a little tutorial for hopefully inspire some people to do their runs and see if we can get more players to do it. Yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, so obviously the first step is you're going to want to create a new world. Now, it went straight into this. It's because I don't have any other worlds on this, so I've deleted them, put them in a temp folder. But it doesn't really matter when you name your world, but because we're going to be using recreate, you can name it whatever you want, and it'll be the same name every time. So I can do, just so I know what I'm doing, right? Here, I want to allow cheats are off. Game rules, do not touch this. These needs to be all the same. Data packs, nothing. Game mode survival, obviously. One thing you can change is the difficulty, except you can't have it on peaceful. In the all sorts, on speedrun.com, it doesn't specify which difficulty. Obviously, peaceful is a given, that's across all things. But you could put on easy if you'd like. I use it on easy, it means that the piglins do less damage to you when you're in the nether, so you can clutch up. When you want to go to more world options, you're going to place the seed, which I'll put in the description down below, you can see it here if you want. And just don't touch anything else, Leave bonus chest off, generate structures obviously on, etc. Press done, create new world. And this is our first world. Alright, so we've loaded into our first world, and you do not want to run on this. Unless you get the god spawn, then maybe you do, but otherwise you don't. This is just our temporary world, which we're going to use create new world and make our lives a lot easier, So you want to go save and quit the title, single player, and now we have this here. And with this, I can press recreate and create new world, and it'll give me the same seed and the same title and the same settings and everything. Saves a lot of time. Now, if you're first learning, I wouldn't worry too much about this, but if you're going for a world record, a good habit to learn would be when you press recreate, go to more world options and then create new world, because it shows the seed beforehand. That means you don't have to do /seed at the end, just in case you forget like I did. I had to edit it in, but it just makes life easier, But if you don't want to, you can just go like that and then just straight create new world. Right? And this is going to put us into the world. Right. So now that your world has loaded in, you will now spawn anywhere within this square, right? The red indicates the corners, and the white and black are just the lines, makes it stand out better. Anywhere in this square you can spawn, except you cannot spawn where there is a grass block or something. So I can't spawn right here. That would never happen. I'd never spawn on this block. And I can also, obviously I can't spawn if there's a block above it. So if there's a too high gap, has to be a too high air gap. Can't be anything else. And obviously I can't spawn here. I just die. Now there are two major spots, which are obviously very good, nice to spawn in for this one. It is over here, and it is over here. Now, if we take a look at our chest, which you'll see in a second, it is right here in this block. Arguably, this spawn is better. This spawn is still really good. You can still get a really good time. One of the former world records was right here before I beat it. And another guy beat me. This is a good spawn, nevertheless. I wouldn't reset if you got here. If you get anywhere in this region here, I'd go for that. That can still be a good one. However, this is where the best spots are. So, for one thing you want to be careful for, and I'd recommend using the double F5 to look behind you, is in my fastest time, I hit this block here, because I spawned right here, and I hit this block and that slows me down by a tiny bit, and I probably would have got a much faster time. Well, much faster, respective to the current standards of that run. Well, I would have got a faster time if I spawned there. You can just make sure you don't bump into something. So that means that technically the best possible spawn you could get is right on this block here. And honestly, if you get this, I just upload that. You don't even have to finish the run. You really just get it. Right? But yeah, this is where you're aiming for. This is the best one. Any area over here, I'd say from here, this is still a good spot. I wouldn't reset for this. The places you want to reset are if you're past this line. If you're here, I'd reset depending on what you're going for. And definitely if you're below this, if you have to jump up to this, it is not worth it. If you spawn anywhere over here, it is not worth it. This is the worst possible spawn you could get. It is not. Actually, no. I think there's a worse one. I think you could spawn. Yeah, you could spawn right here, but you're trapped underneath in like 2 different directions with a head as well. That's an awful spawn. I've gone in there a few times. But yeah, that's the resetting for these spots is only really for going for world record. If you're just trying to practice, any place goes well. If you're trying to get a PB, give it some leeway. But if you're just trying to learn the run, doesn't matter where you spawn. When I was learning, I would spawn here and I'd still go for a run because there's more aspects to the run than just resetting. The most skill-based part of this run is the reset, and that's the only part which takes a lot of resetting. Apart from the sand, but I think there's a way you can do that properly, but I'm just too dumb to figure it out. I wouldn't bother resetting for this if you're still learning the run, because there's many other parts of the run which it's better to spend your time on than to reset for this. So yeah, this is you can spawn in. Right, so after that, you know, little interlude, you finally properly spawned just a second ago. Then it's over here, and then it's over here. So there's 3 different routes you can go for. The first one is if you spawn here. It's very simple. You just want to jump to this line. You want to jump from here onto like roughly here. And when you're on this block, you want to jump here. And this will take you to the spot where you need to go. This one here, if you spawn like over here, you just go here, head hitter, make your way over to this. And then this part is intuitive. You just spawn here, you just go here. If you want, you can head hitter this. And then you just run over here. And this is our spot. So this is our coastline here, and it's the diagonal touching the water closest to this direction, north. And what you want to do is, if I'm correct, if you start breaking from here and then you walk around, the direction the block flies will be in your favor so that you can possibly pick it up without having to drop down. So you'll do that, but and hopefully now you want to pick up that sand. Okay. And then you want to, after you've picked it up and while you're mining the sand, you want to maneuver yourself so that you're here. So you want to be ready to just look straight up and just run. Because if you're on this side, you have to do this weird jump thing and that wastes some time. It's easier to just do this. And then you can jump from here. You know, do what you do. So here, you want to make sure you're crouched. If you're not crouched, you won't be able to reach the chest at the bottom. And you also don't want to be holding an item. So what you want to do when you're running over here, or when you start mining, is you want to switch away from your first slot to any other slot in your inventory. Because basically what happens is if you're breaking a block, and then you pick up another block, it cancels the breaking animation, you have to start again. So by switching my hand here, while I'm breaking, when I pick up this sand, it won't cancel the breaking animation. So I'll break my 1, 2, 3 blocks down, and now we've got my chest. This chest, I've seen people use this iron. Personally, I still think it's slower because your cursor starts closer here. But what you want to do is you want to grab 2 iron, diamonds, diamond, and diamond. Alright? You don't want to use this. That's just, it's just slow. You don't want to do it like that. I also don't know how this layout is, but it doesn't matter. Alright? You don't want to do it like that. You want to use shift clicking. You want to just get smooth and be able to click over it. If you pick up this iron, it is no problem. If you pick up extra items, it's fine because you can just drop them when you're running. It takes a little extra concentration, but it's not that bad. But don't reset if you accidentally pick up more items. That's still not something you should do. I've been contemplating like you can do something in survival like that, which is a method to like quickly pick up items. But I don't know if it's been worth it. I don't do runs anymore. If you'd like to try it, how you do it is what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my hotkey. Then I'm going to press my hotkey again. Then I'm going to shift click and then I'm going to hotkey it back. So I'm just going to shift click and hotkey. And then if you do it enough, you mess around with enough, it should just put in your item. I think it's because I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, there you go. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you want to ideally use your keybind for your last slot, but that's awkward on my setup. Then you wanna shift click it, hotkey it back, shift click, and I'll take up all the items. So you wanna do that for your diamonds. So how this would look is if you do this, you do this, and then this, and that'll be faster. So you do, and then that should be a fast way to do chest. The thing is, I haven't actually used this strat either, but feel free to use it, whoever's watching this video. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna grab my items, and I just want to. So the route you usually want to take, obviously sprint jumping in Minecraft is faster than just regularly running. So doing things like taking this gap here is worth it. You don't slow down, and you just want to make your way that way. So take this round. You want to head hit as much as possible. So you can head hit here. Then if you do it right, you can like flick around. So you can head hit here and move over to this. If you don't flick around there, it's fine. I just jump down to here. You want to make sure you time it so that you don't jump. Because if I jump too late, then I hit my head. I want to jump and then stop, just run, and then I can head hit. Same here. I don't want to jump here. I don't want to jump there and hit myself. I want to jump, run, and then jump again. And then you just wanna be as efficient as possible. You know, take the tightest turns you can, and you wanna limit the distance, right, to this block here. When you're here, you can sprint jump. I don't recommend just holding spacebar because it may mess up your timing for this. It just feels uncomfortable for me. I just do it like this. I'll jump twice. If I'm around here, I won't jump again. You don't want to jump if you're here because that'll mess this up. So the next part up is arguably movement-wise the hardest part of the run. I haven't done this in a while. I'll see if I'll be able to. But the idea is you jump from the corner of this block, and then you place the sand on that block while you're landing, and then you land on it. Now, basically, because you're jumping this way, you want to make sure you're as far over in this direction of a block as possible. Because if I jump from here, it's an extra half block, but if I jump from here, that takes away another like half block. So I want to jump on this very edge, and then as I'm coming down, place the sand here, and then it keeps my momentum, and I don't touch the sand. I don't touch the water. I'll show you what this looks like. Okay. So I'll try it now. Yeah, that's how it should look. I do it the fancy way of like not having sand in my hand when I do it, and then switching and then placing it. It doesn't really matter. You can just hold it in your hand. That works the same. If you're not comfortable with that, if you struggle with that and you just want to learn the rest of the run, another thing you could do is you could place the sand here. It works just the same. It's just sometimes harder to get. Here, ever more than before, you want to be as far to the right as possible. Because if I'm here, then it's a 4 block by 1 jump. If I'm here, it's just a flat 4 block jump. So you can place your sand and then you can... place your sand and then you can jump with stuff like I do. This routine doesn't really matter. You want to try and avoid these because these hit you up more than they do across. Originally I thought maybe it could boost me or something. There's no real use to it. You don't really want to. Doesn't really help. Right? So you want to jump out here in this chest. Alright. You have golden axe, obsidian, and fire charge, all we care about. Unless you're doing an all swords run, ignore this. Right? We can throw these over here. Very useful. This is all we want to care about. Usually, when I do it, I do golden axe, obsidian, fire charge in that order. I used to do it another way around because my keybinds were easier, but this works too. But you want to pick it up. Right? You just take it out the chest. I used to do it, I'd place the obsidian and then I'd fire charge. I think it's just faster to do it this way. But the big thing is you want to be consistent. So I don't want to some runs have my obsidian like this and some runs have my obsidian like this. Because I want to get the muscle memory down so I can place this obsidian and the fire charge in like quick succession. So keybind to your obsidian. As you're running through here, place it, switch to your fire charge, light the portal. Now I've remembered, you want to make sure the axe is also in the same slot. Because if you have hotkey for it, it's easier to switch back. Now you want to mine just 3 pieces of wood. Obviously there won't be lime concrete, I've just done this for demonstrative purposes. You want to mine these 3 pieces of wood. This will be all the crafting resources we need, the iron, the diamond, and the birch log. So when you're here, you can either jump. What I like to do sometimes is I jump and then start crafting, and then there's like a tiny bit where I'm moving when I'm in my inventory. Saves some time, doesn't really matter. So you're gonna wanna use hotkeys to this, saves a lot of time. So I'm gonna my first slot is gonna hotkey. When I shift click this, it's gonna go straight into this slot. This is why you want to be consistent with this over here, because it determines which slot these planks are going to end up in. So when I shift click them, they're always going to end up in this, and I know my key blank for this, and I can just press V every time. And I can come right? Now, V, pick it up, then you want to use right click to drag a crafting table. Don't want to drag it here. And then let go, and then drag just a stick. Alright, so it's going to look like that. I think you can do it like that. Can work as well. You can play around with this. This doesn't really matter. This is a very small part of a run, but as long as you get a crafting table and 4 sticks, that's all good. Now, if you feel like in the Nether you want to do some strats, which a different route, which may require you have 2 blocks you can use. All you want to do is when you're crafting, you want to put this down and then shift click it so it's in your 1 slot, and then you can use it later. So, now we've got our crafting table, our 4 sticks, and our logs, our planks up here. A key thing to note is that the slot which your birch planks were in is the same slot your crafting table will be in now. So when I pressed V to get my birch logs from my hotbar into here, now my crafting table will also be on here. So I press V and I can place it. Doesn't matter where you place this, I have this here for my forward time, it's just not matter. But yeah, it doesn't matter actually, you can just put it wherever. So now you want to open it, when you click the book, you can, if you want, I've seen people do runs, manual crafting. It takes a lot more skill, and it can be fast if you do it perfectly. I prefer just using this method. The only downside to using the recipe book is it's not always consistent. So sometimes it'll be different. So see here, and we don't have the smithing table or the diamond pickaxe. They're both on this page. Sometimes they can be here. Sometimes they'll be on this page. Sometimes they'll be in this page. Doesn't matter. The order is random. Right? So you want to open your crafting table, recipe book, showing craftable. This will move because here I have 4 pages to click through. Here I have 2. And if it's not on the first page, I'm gonna click over here. I want to prioritize the smithing table, because the smithing table gets rid of iron, which gets rid of all the iron tools, and also gets rid of the crafting table, and I think the slabs, the stairs, trap, pressure plate, door, gets rid of a lot more crafting things than just the diamond pickaxe. That just gets rid of, only gets rid of a few diamond tools. So I want to make the smithing table first, clears up the most space, because now you can see all of these are on the first page. If I'd done the pickaxe first, there's a chance that I would have to click to the second page again, and I don't want to waste that time. I want to make sure everything is as smooth as possible. So, I've made my smithing table, now I want to make my pickaxe. Alright, this is just reaction time. It'll come with time, you'll get used to it. Doesn't really matter though. It doesn't matter which order you do it in, however, because this will always be the same spot. Due to the resources which I used, and the order which I use, and depending if you pick it up like I do from the chest, and mine it like I do, these will always be the same. These will never be like this. These will always be like this. But, let's say, theoretically, they are like this. If you take this, put it in your offhand, switch to this, offhand it, and then switch back, you can change the order of things while you're in the portal. And that's a big key while you're in the portal. The portal is probably the biggest time killer in this entire run. If you can do something in the portal, then you want to do it in the portal. If you have to choose between doing it out here or doing it in the portal, you're going to want to do it in the portal. It'll save you most time. So, you're going to get into the portal as soon as you can, and then you can drop anything. So, whenever, although it may be the shortest run, it's the most important time because it's the easiest part to scarf. What you want to do, when you come out of a portal, when you're going into a portal, you could stand as much to the left as possible. Sometimes you can even like spawn slightly inside this block. I think you can push yourself through. That's just trial and error. You want to spawn left side. You don't want to stand on the right. You'll spawn over here. Just saves a tiny bit of time. Now that you're on the left, you just want to run here, and your aim is this block here. So you want to land. When you're sprint jumping, you sprint jump. I don't like to sprint jump again, it's risky. I want to be as close to this edge as possible, because I'm aiming to land on that block there. The past runs and the past routes before I found this one, they'd go like here and then here. If you get it right, you can just make the jump straight from here onto this. I didn't do it there because I haven't practiced this run in a while. But if you do it right, you can just land on this. This saves a lot of time. And then you'll momentum it to here as well. This is the route you want to take. I've looked through it. Blocks-wise, going down this path is longer because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, and then 7 including this, and then you have to go across more. It's just a longer route. Just going straight across here is much faster, and I honestly wouldn't recommend the other route. So now, this is the final part of the round. Heart's beating, nerves are pumped. Don't think that's how nerves work, but we're gonna roll with it. You're here. What you can do is you can grab the Netherite ingots first, then do the crafting, smithing. Or you can do like I do. What I do is when I'm landing and when I'm momentuming, if I'm mid jump from here, I'll place it here. I'll place it there. I'll just place it there so it's there. Because I know that I can just switch between these really fast, because I have muscle memory for it. Because I can do this. Okay. So when you're jumping in here, you jump, place it, and now you want to open the chest. It's simple. Take Netherite ingot, switch over here. You can use hotkeys. It's probably better to use hotkeys. Not gonna lie. Do this. Craft your pickaxe, and that's it. Well, at the end of my runs, I always press escape. You know, it stops the in-game timer. But you can always go back, review the footage to see like the precise time that you use the real time. So not the in-game time, because in-game time doesn't work like that. You use the real time. Take the difference between the time of you clicking and you pressing escape. Subtract that from your finished in-game time. And then that's the time which you crafted the pickaxe. Similarly, at the start of a run, when you press escape, when you open your menu, you can see in your time that'll show up. So you can also subtract that. It just makes life a lot easier. But yeah, that is basically it. That is the run. I'll show you one more run now, for old time's sake. But this is basically the strategy. This is an advanced strat. If you want to take things slower, like not doing this jump, jumping onto here, go for that. And don't try to rush it. Although it's a speed run, you want to be as smooth as possible. Because if you're smooth and your movement is smooth and you don't hit blocks and you don't mess things up, then your speed will naturally come with that. And if you can get smooth and then you can get fast at being smooth, that's when the real speed kicks in. Practice on just getting smooth with it and having confidence. Confidence with your keybinds, confidence with your mouse placement, confidence with your movement. Those are the 3 main things you want to look after. The rest of the run, the resetting and stuff, that's just the part which comes with it. The part which will speed up over time. Confidence, keybinds, and movement are the 3 things you want to focus on in this run. Alright, so now I'm going to do a run. I'm not going to reset the spawns. I'm going to just go through it slowly and show you what it looks like to encompass this route. Here we'll start off with a pretty shit spawn, not gonna lie. You can see I'm utilizing as many hitters as possible. I'm gonna go around. A thing I forgot to mention, if you don't pick this block up, don't feel scared to drop down and then just drop onto this block quickly and jump back up. Because as long as you keep breaking, you'll lose a tiny bit of time, but it won't be that noticeable. It's not that big of an issue if you mess it up, right? So also, if you're going for practice runs, if you do something like I just did, taking the pod instead of the diamonds, don't worry about that either. Just go continue it on. I'm not going to reset for this. So this will how it look like. This is how it will look like. In regards to live split and recording, if you go to speedrun.com, Minecraft Java Edition guides, you'll find a guide which can talk about, which will show you how to set up live split and stuff. I'll link it down below, so you can do that, set up that up yourself. Similarly with Fabric and Sodium and the things which mean you have like planar fog and you don't have opposite, I'll also link a video down below explaining that. Anyways, that was my tutorial on Netherite Pickaxe. I hope you feel, inclined to do this yourself. You don't have to, you can just watch the video, just see how it works. Well, just go ahead, start up Minecraft 1.16.1, start up a world, and just go for it. There's nothing stopping you. You don't have to go for a world record, no, don't need that. Just have fun, enjoy it. See the experience of speedrunning, try it out, see if it's your thing or not. It's all up to you. This has been me. This has been how to do Netherite pickaxing, speedrunning, and hope you have a wonderful day.